Good afternoon, YouTube. Today I'm making this video to address a problem that I keep running across. That is the question, is Canada really racist? And my answer to that is, I don't believe that the actions of a few individuals should be attributed to the entire Canadian population as a whole. I don't believe that our society was found on the grounds of, let's call it, that kind of group identity doctrine. We were founded on the individual, the value of the individual, and that is why our country, along with the United States and other free societies that practice the same belief, rise in comparison to other dictatorship countries that practice a whole idea of group identity, that they will fall one day. Because as you can see, if you're paying attention, things are starting to unravel. Certain groups are already being afforded a higher status, you could say, and other groups are treated with a lower status, you could say. So I will play this clip from Ezra Levant. It's a little bit long, but I hope that you can bear with me.
Rex Murphy weighed in on things in a brilliant column in the National Post, their most read item of the month for sure. It's this one: Canada is not a racist country, despite what the Liberals say. To any fair mind, Canada is a mature, welcoming, open-minded, and generous country. It would be helpful if these Liberals kept the full story of this country in mind when discussing racism. The full story, I think that's the key. In a country centuries old, with millions of people, there have been atrocious moments, either by today's standards or even by standards of the past, sure. But tell the full story, please. How much are racism and discrimination actually a part of Canadian reality? Are they overwhelmingly present? Are they, in McKenna's view, a central part of Canadian life? Where do they manifest themselves? Are some provinces more racist and discriminatory than others? Those are good questions, and I can assure you that Rex has spent more time thinking about McKenna's statements than McKenna did. Do we not have welcoming immigration policies? Our largest cities, not a great montage of people from every corner of the world, of every color and creed? Do we not, both in private and public, to celebrate Canada's multicultural nature? Do our schools not press the ideas of tolerance and acceptance towards all peoples and all faiths from kindergarten through high school? Is it not a doctrine of Canadian civic life that to end any trace of discrimination or racism is a cardinal rationale for the very existence of modern Canada? Of course,
See, with me, the thing that made me the most angry was when I watch the news, say global news, for example, and they talk about racism against Chinese for the Wuhan virus and racism against blacks because of the George Floyd incident. People are making use of these incidents to make political hay out of the situation. And it might be wrong to say that, but how do you know that racism was the only thing that played into the murder of George Floyd? How do you know that that individual, you can characterize him as a murdering psychopath? And that's why he killed George Floyd. Like, for me to look at the situation only through a racial lens is wrong. It cannot be practiced only like that. That's an irrational assessment of the situations. Right? So when the media says it's a Wuhan virus and it's racist against China, no. The origin of that coronavirus is Wuhan. So it's accurate to call it Wuhan virus. All right? The way that I look at the George Floyd issue, it's spiraled out of control everywhere because people seem to look at it only through a racist lens, let's say. Racist in the sense that you don't have 100% confirmation that it is a racial killing. But when you look at how that officer, not even an officer, that individual, his track record for murder is there, right? He had three fatal shootings, right? One which resulted in the death of somebody he shot. So the other two are not fatalities, but you can say that they were badly wounded. That's his track record. And so it is the failure of the Minneapolis Police Department for not properly screening psychologically the state of mind of these people after they shot someone to make sure that they're not mentally unbalanced. It is entirely possible that that guy who shot, that guy who shot that black police officer in the United States, which doesn't get any coverage. This is a rioter that a black police officer not undercover, off duty, was protecting a TV store, and it belonged to his friend, and he was shot by rioters in the streets right in front of the store. And that wasn't even covered in the newspaper. The rioter, so-called rioting on behalf in the name of George Floyd, kills a black police officer. Innocent, really. So why does nobody talk about that? For me, it's an entirely narrow-minded, small-scope thinking. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that Canadians are racist from the Prime Minister, who has no authority to classify what's racist or not. We in Canada know that his background. We don't forget about blackface and all his silly costume nonsense that is really insulting to many different races, including the black race. But I don't look at it like with that kind of lens. It's really disgusting to me. I look at what Rex Murphy did here. Canada is not a racist country, despite what the Liberals say. It's the same thing that Obama was trying to achieve in the United States, which was division between everybody. So he, in a sense, animated that corpse of an idea that it should be groups. Separate us into groups so that one group can fight another. Let's call it black versus white, or white versus Chinese, or whatever. Their whole purpose is to divide us into groups. So when I hear this kind of thing coming out of McKenna's mouth, they're practicing that kind of sabotage of the goodness of the culture, let's say, because I know that it's inherently good. Canada is not racist because we do place value on individual, and that's why, like the US, people here can live their dream, work hard, and realize that dream, no matter who you come from, where you come from, who you are, as long as you have that integrity as a person, that any one among us, Canadians, can rise with sheer will and drive, if that's what you really want. And this person is creating a lot of nonsense, a lot of lying to people, trying to trick even the media. They're so guilty that they try and trick Canadians into thinking, oh, we're racist. Oh, the system is useless. It's everything needs to be radically changed. Why do they say that? So they can completely destroy the system that's in place already, that actually evolved into that system that actually functions. Not perfectly, but it's the best we've got. Anywhere. Nobody would emigrate to Canada if they didn't believe that it was a deeply multicultural society and that their culture can be preserved here. They come. It is the disgusting behavior by these people that really, McKenna should be deeply ashamed of herself. She is unworthy to be a minister or any level of government. This person is for me, a disgrace to Canada. I look at it. It's nice that this gentleman here that he wrote this article, because he's trying his best to re-inspire the population about our culture. Because every day I hear in the press that, Canada's racist, Canada's racist. They keep repeating it in different ways, but they repeat the same thing. If they don't use the rioting on behalf of George Floyd and policemen and all this stuff that they're talking about, that the RCMP is abusive and all that, there's no doubt that some policemen are over-exercising their power, but I attribute those faults to those individuals. I've met many good policemen, honorable people, policemen and women, you could say, honorable people. They work hard. They're not playing around like this. But there are few that probably they're not balanced to be in that position, because they're not truly neutral. That's what you need. Objective. So you look at the situation from the lens of only it's racist, it's completely imbalanced and unrelatable to reality, you could say, because life is complex. You have to judge the situation more carefully. It cannot be just, this is racist, that's racist, everything's racist, violation of human rights, everything. No way. Canada protects us. Our way of life succeeded. But now it is being brought down by radicals who are actually racist in government and trying to destroy the whole system and rebuild it in their image. And they're more commensurate with communism than anybody wants to admit. And they are. You could talk about how they restrict our freedom of speech. You could talk about how they keep dismissing anybody who doesn't obey their orders in government. Jody Wilson-Raybould is one of them. How could you dismiss the highest judiciary body in the entire of Canada? She should never have been fired. She was forced to leave cabinet, right? And then run as an independent because her integrity is stronger than the government that she thought she was representing. So she walked away from the issue. No, she was fired and then she walked away from the issue. So it's disgusting. You talk about who is the real racist. The Liberal Party of Canada, that's who. I look at this, I see this thing spiraling out of control in Canada. George Floyd's death was extremely, extremely igniting for a lot of people. And the way he died, I made a video on it. I saw it. You can see my reaction to it. The way he died is reprehensible, no doubt about it. But to blame that only on racism, I think only that's part of the issue, but not the complete issue. Half the truth is not the whole truth. It's a lie, actually. So have a look at the situation and reevaluate. It's not only racist. It may not even be racist. It could be an imbalance in that guy's brain. It could be the fact that the guy is naturally violent. That's why he killed George in that way. The disgusting, a callous attitude towards human life. That's his attitude. And I look at the things that have ignited politics and the media in Canada and all over the US is just disgusting. Have a look at this here. So commentary there, systemic racism in Canada. They'll do anything to give those extremist groups power. You really want to side with Antifa and all those communist groups? I'm talking to the media, the press. Are you really sure you want to go down that road? to me, the degradation of Canada is ever present, and it's so disheartening to see this kind of behavior in our country, and the fact that any immigrant knows that's honest, that came to this country with their dream in mind, and fled their country of origin essentially, and many of the refugees know that, and many immigrants know that, how Canada can create a new situation for them. That's why they come. They come because it's free. They come because they can grow here. They can practice their religion freely. They have so many things it's like a star, essentially, Canada. A golden fortress, something that you can enter there, you can really build something. But now this government tried to bring it to some hypothetical fake dream of theirs. And that dream started by lying to people about what Canada actually is, what built this country. We are great today because our ancestors practiced freedom. Not exactly freedom, but that value for the individual that rises above all other things. That's a Catholic, a Christian idea, that the individual, no matter how reprehensible, they are to be valued by everybody. That's why the law is the way it is. We practice that law to protect the rights and freedoms of that person, no matter how reprehensible or how good, it doesn't matter. But the underlying value of that it's not the group, it's the individual who's the at the pinnacle. And I'm sick and tired of these people talking about like it's only about race, so-called race. That's the most racist thing you can do, is classify people by race. What is race? When we come to this country, we're Canadians first. We must practice the work of protecting our society to keep that open for future generations. Otherwise, the country disseminate. It cannot be any other way. Anyways, this rant has gone on too long. There is a lot of things, a lot of issues that are bothering me with in regards to this situation. And people that have seen my previous video know that I am with the people who saw what happened to George and found it to be reprehensible, and would protest in his honor against that kind of brutality. But I take it to a point. I don't say that the whole system is useless. No way. I attribute those crimes to those people who were involved and nothing more. It stops at that. You attribute the crimes to that individual, not an entire group. That's ludicrous. We have to exercise some kind of rationalization in the issue, rather than run away with this kind of romanticism that's going on with the so-called groups. No way. Stand apart from that kind of irrational behavior. Canada practices good, deeply. Our roots are deeply Christian in origin, and from that we rose to become a very, very peaceful, charitable, you could say Christian socialism, reaching out to the rest of the community, peacekeepers. That's Canada, not under Trudeau. He corrupt the face of Canada. Everybody around the world knows Canada right now is a laughingstock under Trudeau, because he's a leader that doesn't have a way to show respect, and he doesn't have the respect of anybody, just the media, because he pays their bills. But I want to conclude that this kind of behavior is, I couldn't stand it. I keep watching the news push that kind of, that silly propaganda, if you will. Don't buy into it. I believe that Canada is not racist. There are individuals certainly who are terrible, like this person, and but their crimes should be attributed to them, not the whole society. So, feel free to comment. I would look forward to reading how you respond to this video, because to me it outrages me that our prime minister has the audacity to call Canada racist, a racist country. We have to do something about racism. Yeah, how about yourself? Are you not racist when you dressed up like blackface? Are you not racist when you pretended you were Aladdin? I know several people who were deeply insulted by that, and they said there's no grounds, no excuse that you could give that would let them forgive you for something like that. What did you pay as restitution for that kind of nonsense? You didn't take responsibility. Not really, at all. Zero. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching.